Welcome to Travel with Sean. I'm Sean, and today we are in Budapest, Hungary. Budapest has a history dating back to the 4th century BC, when the Celtics had a settlement here. What we now know as Budapest is a combination of three cities: Buda, Óbuda, and Pest. Óbuda, whose name means Old Buda, was a Roman fort established in the 1st century around the year AD 90. Ethnic Hungarians moved in during the 9th century, establishing the cities of Buda and Pest. Around the year 1000, Buda became the capital of the Christian Kingdom of Hungary. In 1541, the Ottomans from modern-day Turkey conquered Buda and ruled for about 150 years, until they were driven out by the Holy Roman Empire in the 1680s. After the dissolution of the Holy Roman Empire led to the formation of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Vienna was the imperial capital. See my video about Vienna. Budapest was then the headquarters of the governor of Hungary. So now I'm standing on a bridge over the river Danube that was popularized or made famous by the Austrian composer Johann Strauss II in his famous piece, The Blue Danube. So this is the river Danube. Behind me over here, to my right now, is the city of Pest, former city of Pest. To my left is the former city of Buda. Together they merged to form the modern city of Budapest. In the 1830s, there was talk of building a permanent bridge over the Danube River to unite Buda and Pest. In 1849, the chain bridge was opened, thus beginning the start of a new city called Budapest. Upon completion, the chain bridge was one of the largest suspension bridges in the world. In 1945, the Nazis blew it up as they were retreating from Budapest. Since the towers remained, it was able to be reopened in 1949. I'm in front of St. Stephen's Basilica here in Budapest. It was named after the first king of Hungary. It was completed in 1905 and took 54 years to complete. In the 1830s, early 1830s, there was a terrible flood in Budapest, on the Buda side of Budapest, which is the eastern side. Many people sought refuge in the small church that was here because this was elevated ground. After surviving the flood, they were so grateful that they donated money for a larger church to be built. Because there were so many of them, they were packed into the small church that existed. So they donated money for a larger church to be built. The product was St. Stephen's Basilica. Now the reason it took 54 years to build is because in the 1850s, during construction, the dome caved in. It collapsed. They had to clear out the rubble and reconstruct the dome before finishing the church. The location of the basilica is not the location of that church where people sought refuge, but it is the same parish that built this. The basilica's facade is adorned with sculptures and reliefs depicting scenes from Hungarian history, as well as religious themes including statues of the 12 apostles. Its impressive dome reaches the height of 315 feet, making it one of the tallest structures in Budapest. The church received some damage to the roof and walls during Allied bombing in 1944 and 45, requiring some reconstruction. As we enter the Basilica, one of the first things we'll notice is its pipe organ with over 6,500 pipes, which is one of the largest in Europe. Because of its fabulous acoustics and its impressive pipe organ, St. Stephen's Basilica has played a very active role in the Budapest music scene since its consecration in 1905. The head organists of the church have always been very high-level musicians. It has been, and still is, a venue for choral music, classical music, as well as contemporary music concerts. As a bonus, some concert tickets may include a dinner cruise on the Danube. As you can see, much of the artwork inside the Basilica is based on the life and leadership of St. Stephen. St. Stephen's Basilica is revered throughout Hungary because it has in it a relic known in Hungary as the Holy Right, the mummified right hand of its namesake, King Stephen. King Stephen died in 1083, and then they began the beatification process of having the Pope declare him a saint. Legend says that part of the process involved exhuming his body from the crypt, and when they opened his casket, they saw that his right arm was fully intact with no signs of decay, so they cut it off to become a relic. History says that during the invasion of the Huns in the 13th century, the hand was sent to Dubrovnik, Croatia, for safekeeping. But when Croatia was facing its own invasion of the Huns, the arm was cut in two, with the upper arm being sent to what is now Ukraine, and the lower arm, the hand, being sent to Vienna, Austria. Sometime in the 18th century, the hand was returned to Budapest. But when Budapest was about to become a battlefield of World War II, St. Stephen's right hand was sent to Salzburg Cathedral in Salzburg, Austria. It was returned to Budapest in 1945 by a Roman Catholic chaplain of the U.S. Army. The Budapest Inner City Mother Church of Our Lady of the Assumption, also known as the Inner City Parish Church, is one of the oldest and one of the most significant churches in Budapest. It was founded in 1048, but the church building has been damaged so much by war and disaster that it has been rebuilt several times over the centuries. The current church building was completed in 1801. At the order of King Stephen I, also known as Saint Stephen, it was built next to the Roman fort. During the Ottoman occupation from the mid-16th century to the late 17th century, this church was used as a Muslim mosque. Legend has it that during a battle between the Holy Roman Empire and the Ottoman Empire for control of the city, a wall of the church was knocked down, revealing a statue of the Virgin Mary, and many Turks took that as a sign of their eventual defeat, so they surrendered. For several years, the Hungarian composer and pianist Franz Liszt lived in the church's rectory and performed his music in the church. After World War II, the communist government of Hungary wanted to demolish the church, but they were persuaded to leave it stand. These are ruins of a church that stood here in the 2nd or 3rd century during the era of the Roman Empire. This is a portion of a wall for a church that was here in the 12th century. The pedestrian tunnel you see ahead passes under the castle and opened in 1856. Well, now we've crossed the bridge from Buda back over to Pest, and we're waiting to catch a tram to take us up to the Parliament building. Here's a map of their public transportation system. I'm standing in front of the Hungarian National Parliament building. Its name in the Hungarian language roughly translates to the National House. It was inaugurated as the Parliament building in 1896, which they believe was the 1000th anniversary of the founding of Hungary. But the building wasn't completed until 1904. Unlike the United States and the UK, which have two parts to their governing body, Congress in the United States and the British Parliament, each are bicameral, two houses. Unlike them, Hungary is unicameral. It's the National Assembly. They meet in one wing of the building, and the other wing is a conference hall for smaller meetings. At the end of World War II, from 1945 until 1990, the Parliament building had a red star on top, representing their membership in the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, but they took it down after the fall of communism. The Hungarian Parliament building is one of the most iconic landmarks in Budapest. Its design was inspired by the British Houses of Parliament in London. It features a symmetrical facade adorned with arches and statues of the rulers of Hungary and other historical figures and even mythological creatures. With a length of 880 feet, it is one of the longest buildings in Hungary, and with an area of 200,000 square feet, it is also one of the largest legislative buildings in the world. Just a short walk from the Parliament building, I found U.S. President Ronald Reagan. The Soviet War Memorial commemorates the Soviet soldiers who died liberating Hungary from the Nazis. We're standing in front of Liberty Square in Budapest, Hungary, with this beautiful monument allegedly protesting the Nazi occupation of Hungary in World War II. It's the image of the Archangel Gabriel holding up a representation of Hungary with the German eagle swooping down to attack. This was put up by the Hungarian premier in 2014. There was no announcement made ahead of time, and apparently there wasn't even a vote of parliament on it. He unilaterally made the decision. But we see all of these posters, pictures. What they are about is protesting this monument. They say that the monument is a false history. They are alleging that Hungary was in partnership with Nazi Germany and welcomed them in and agreed with the Nazi government of Adolf Hitler to round up the Jews, put them in ghettos, and send them to Auschwitz. So there are also pictures and mementos remembering the Jews who were sent to Auschwitz during World War II. Very interesting piece of history here. Not just the monument, but the protest with it from, I believe, 2020.
The Hungarian State Opera House was built between 1875 and 1884, reflecting the prosperity and cultural renaissance of Budapest at that time. The auditorium of the Opera House is renowned for its exceptional acoustics and stunning beauty. It seats over 1,200 people and features a horseshoe-shaped layout, allowing for excellent sight lines and optimal sound quality. The ceiling is adored with breathtaking frescoes depicting scenes from Greek mythology, while the stage is equipped with the state-of-the-art equipment for opera and ballet performances. The Hungarian State Opera House is the main venue for opera and ballet performances in Hungary. If you have time, guided tours are available in a variety of languages. Or you can look around the lobby, like I did. That alone is worth the time to step inside and look around. It's quite beautiful, as you can see.
I'm in front of the Great Synagogue of Budapest, the largest synagogue in Europe.
It was built in Budapest's Jewish quarter between 1854 and 1859. In November 1944, the Nazis made this area the ghetto, and many of the residents were sent to Auschwitz concentration camp to be executed. After the Soviet Red Army liberated Budapest in January 1945, the bodies of nearly 3,000 Jewish residents were found around the synagogue. These individuals were likely victims of the atrocities committed by the Nazi regime, including mass executions. The mass grave containing their remains serves as a solemn memorial to the tragic loss of life and the enduring legacy of the Holocaust. The discovery of these bodies underscores the horrific toll of the Holocaust on Hungary's Jewish community and reinforced the synagogue's role as a place of remembrance and mourning for the victims. Next to the synagogue is the Raoul Wallenberg Holocaust Memorial Park, which commemorates the thousands of Hungarian Jews who were deported and killed during the Holocaust. It features a weeping willow tree sculpture with the names of the Holocaust victims inscribed on its leaves. As I said earlier, the Grand Synagogue is the largest in Europe, and with a seating capacity of around 3,000 people, it is one of the largest synagogues in the world. It consists of a main prayer hall, a woman's gallery, and several smaller chapels and rooms. The synagogue is also a popular tourist attraction, attracting visitors who come to admire its architecture, learn about its history, and pay respects to the victims of the Holocaust. When open to visitors, the main prayer hall is divided into different sections by language.
Having dinner in Budapest, Hungary, you've got to try the Hungarian national dish. Hungary is famous for goulash. Here we have goulash stew with rice and goulash soup. They both have beef, and the soup also has chopped vegetables. Top it off with a German Hefeweiss beer. We're soon going to be getting on one of these boats to take a cruise on the Blue Danube. We signed up for an evening cruise after dark. Sun is going to be setting soon. We're going to go down the river, down the Danube River, past the Buda Castle, past the Hungarian National Parliament. Take a look at the buildings, the sites, all lit up with their various lights to see the scenes after dark. Should be a nice, relaxing time.
Spero. Vai,
Our Danube River cruise is just beginning. The boat has 2 levels. We chose the top level for the better view.
Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe down below and leave a comment. All of this helps me grow my channel. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your support. Until next time, bye-bye.